beautiful.
Dude, that controller's so cool.
Sexy.
Oh, we're back. Hey, guys. Welcome
hi.
back to Weekly Warfare.
That was not weird at all.
That's the nerdiest thing I've done all day.
That's right. Besides this. Anyway, let's talk. This controller is amazing. You kidding me? Look at this thing. It's all sexy and stuff.
It is awesome. Once again, guys, that is at madcats.com/MLG. Go pick up your controller for Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3. They are on sale and shipping right now. Before we get into our next matchup, we are waiting on Proofy to return home from school. So it is time to fill some time with our best buddy, Corey Dunn, who is joining us now for some post-game analysis. Corey, what's up, buddy?
No, man, I actually just got off work, too. I was going to try to hop on with y'all before, but, of course, I didn't get the opportunity to. I ran into some traffic. You know, that day-to-day job kind of gets in the way whenever you're trying to help out from time to time. But, man, you know, I was able to catch the last part of that first map, and then I was able to catch the second and third map fully. So, yeah, we've got a lot to talk about. I know it was a clean sweep, but we can really discuss why things worked out the way they did, though, man. But honestly, I've been enjoying what y'all been doing on Weekly Warfare, especially y'all's commentary is just getting better and better, and I'm starting to worry a little bit.
Don't worry, I'll still be producing the pro circuit events. Your job is safe with me, buddy.
I can never commentate without the great Corey Dunn. That's just not gonna happen ever. He's too beautiful.
Well, Corey, what can you tell us? What did you see by watching that last match? What did you see from Juked to start off? But more importantly, how strong is Optic Nation?
Well, Optic Nation, for starters, let's go back to Carbon and how they played that match. I mean, we spent some time with watching Optic nade shot and how he went prone and he was crawling his way into a position. Now, whenever we go from the 2.5 minutes to the minute and a half time frame, that's going to change. That whole mentality of being able to take the entire round to your advantage and crawl your way to your objective, that's not going to work anymore. So, but since it's still here, since it's still around, you can take complete advantage of it, and that's why Nade Shot was able to get into certain positions and probably why he was being so efficient through and throughout. I think he spent more time on his belly than most of them, especially watching the way that we were watching with Juked on how they were playing. They seemed, their communication, listening to the last game, and how they communicated with one another kind of told me the story of why they weren't as effective as they needed to be. Y'all had mentioned that Rec was doing a great job throughout the matches, and he was probably one of the stars to look at. But one of the things that I noticed is that he was really the only one that felt confident, and the rest of them were actually struggling trying to make things happen. And whenever we were listening to that, we're doing the listen in, we noticed that their communication was lacking, that they didn't know exactly where they wanted to go. They just really didn't have anything that was definitive whenever they were trying to decide where to go. I mean, with a map like that, y'all had mentioned that y'all need to hit the A-bomb site, you need to hit it quick. That's a fact. But one of the things that you take in consideration when you're on the defensive side is you know that they're going to be pushing in. So you time your grenades, even though the grenades in Modern Warfare 3 struggle a little bit. You take the time, you loft in the grenades, you take advantage. If you get some hit markers, then you know they're in the site. Take advantage of what you have in your equipment inventory and move forward from there. But it just seemed like the communication skills weren't there, their confidence wasn't there. And Optic Nation, without a doubt, I mean, we've got some all-star players, Assassin, you've got Nade Shot, Twiz, and Fears coming out of from the Quantic Leverage team and just dominate. Is that the same Fears? Let me make sure that's
And actually I wanted to ask you real quick though about Fears. I mean, because you and I had this conversation before back in at Providence, where we were like, Fears is a very good player, but we weren't sure. Look at this, it's just magically moving my way. We weren't sure if he was the definitive factor for Leverage, but now you have Fears in this Optic Nation squad, obviously very, very good and a key portion of that team.
No, so one of the things that we kind of discussed and talked about with Fears is like what you just mentioned, but he didn't come out as well as he could have been. He actually had some games where he didn't even show up, and but that kind of goes back to the fact what we were talking about in Dallas about having confidence on the circuit. And he's playing at home right now. So he's comfortable. He's got his TV that he's used to playing on. He's got his setup. He's got his controller. He's just he's where he wants to be. I mean, we all know that we play better at home. It's just a matter of whether or not you're confident at the events, whatever it really comes down to, whenever you want to make that money.
Yeah, land is always a definitive factor for all these teams. Obviously, it's where the money is made. But let's talk a little bit about Juked. You know, you said that they were a little rattled before. They weren't really feeling it. And even, you know, I said they were lost. But, you know, you had Rek on there. And Rek obviously stood out. You know, Puckett was a big fan of Rek. He kept on saying how awesome Rek was. And
he's got that ACR shot, man. He was the only one laying it down at long range. I felt like the other guys, like you said, were kind of sheepish. They were scared. They didn't want to go face-to-face with anyone. Rek would get in your face, and he'd take you out, even if he had the bomb on his back.
Yeah. But hold on, though. But another thing to point out real quick, he's just throwing the controller my way. Another thing to point out, though, real fast, though, is in that Carbon S&D game, Saint was 4-4, while every other member of Juked was donut on the bottom. So that is something to highlight and be worried about. Corey, your thoughts on that? Because that was a crazy game.
It's not the fact that Juked is not a good team and the players that are on that team aren't good. I mean, they placed top 16 I believe, I can stand corrected, but I believe they placed top 16 at almost every tournament that they played at. But
yep, they did.
Yeah, they did.
So one of the things to look at with that, you know, these players know how to play. It's just this is their first time to play. It's just a confidence factor. I mean, it really just seemed like the communication, that listen in, told everything. If I didn't hear that before, if I didn't have the chance to, if we didn't do that listen in, I would assume something different. I'd have sit there and said, man, you know, these guys are missing their shots. They're not connecting. They're just not doing what they're supposed to do. But in fact, their communication wasn't even there. I mean, they were timid. Hey, man, just going back and recalling that one of the rounds when they were there in the A bomb site, and Saints was there with Rek. Rek had the bomb. Rek was watching over towards the back car, and he knew somebody was over there. And he goes into the bomb site to plant, and nobody's covering that spot? Are you serious?
Yeah, those are not the things that you want to do.
The communication skills just weren't there, and it just kind of goes to show on how timid they were, which y'all talked about too. It's just a matter of confidence. I mean, they're a great team, but Optic Nation, they came out confident, cool, collected, and their chemistry was there. The 4 C's, remember that.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's pretty awesome analysis. Juked, they will get better as they put more time together and, you know, have more experience here. Hopefully we'll see them back on Weekly Warfare for some more matches. I like spinning this, too. It's kind of fun. Guys, when we come back, we're going to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we will preview the upcoming match. Corey Dunn will be joining us once again as we talk about the 2 biggest names in Call of Duty when it comes to MLG, Optic Gaming and Leverage.